Okay. Hey, everybody. This is a poker coaching study session. We are going to study cash games. We're going to start with some trainer work and then do some marked hands. And what spot are we going to do on the trainer?
Hey guys. Hey Joey. Um, we are going to today give you guys an option. So this is the tried and true, which I think, is really important to work on. Is first, this is the tried true, is uh early position versus a flat behind. So you're having to play out of position, which just spoke about. So this is an option, but the other option, which I've been playing with, is actually a one decision option, but a very common line. So the line would be, well, let me show you from the beginning. So I'll just finish this one. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. Okay, good. So the line would be a single decision. So the single decision is you go from the beginning, and you look here at our line, which is along here. Um, UTG opens. We flatten the big blind. We get a flop. We check. They B33. We call. We get a turn. We check. They check back. So now we've arrived at the river with that line. What do we do at this point with our combo and this texture? So those are the two options. This very specific spot, which we see commonly out of position, or we can work on EP versus a
Let's do
flat and play out of
do this.
position.
Let's do three of these each at least. This is great. I love
Okay,
this one.
cool. All right. Who wants maybe I'll do a couple just to give you an idea
Let me,
what
can I,
I'm talking
let me,
about.
Barry, let me go first because I'm gonna have to leave for my
Oh,
show
sure. Yeah,
in
okay.
minutes. So
Go for it.
I'm gonna,
Okay, well
I'm
then,
gonna,
so you're in this position, right? So the line we just
Right.
talked about, flop B33, you call,
I
turn
like
check,
it.
check. We're now right at the river, you have jacks.
All right. I want to bet here. And my hand is strong enough to bet here. And the only question is size. I'm not gonna do less than half pot. I don't I, I block one of the straights, and that's enough to bet pot.
All right. Oh, well, you could be 60 or you could be 132.
Oh, I can. Okay. Between 60 and 132, I'm gonna bet 60 and get called. I'm gonna get bet 60 and get called by some ace highs instead of 132. Nope,
You're both are
32.
fine situation.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And so I was thinking about its
Oh,
options, and
a pair.
you
Good
get
enough.
called by pair. You
I
make money.
probably been called by that at 132 also, so bad play. All right, next hand.
Okay, let's go next hand.
I do not see a one card straight on the board, and I can get called by a lot worse with this jack, 132.
So it's probably sizing
Okay.
down because it's one to a straight.
Oh, it is a straight, but I'm an idiot. Either one to a straight. I said we're not one to a straight.
I did the same thing yesterday
Yeah.
when we were on the
So
call.
yeah, definitely
Uh,
size down.
well, let's just go through, see what happens.
I get, I get, I make all the money in the world. Yay.
You make all the money in the world.
Yes.
All right, another one.
Another, no, yep. Third one. I'm okay with that. Okay. Now, no one card straight on the board. Good. The queen is bad for my range. This is a nice check call, and if I bet small. But I think
Okay,
this is fine check
so
call.
this is like either a blocker or
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
a check call.
I'm out of position, so I'm allowed to bet as small as I want, and my small would be 25, 2.5.5. I would mix two, but I'm going to do some checking, and in this particular case, I'm checking this time.
Yeah, you nailed it. Let's see if you face it better.
Nope.
He takes his
I
ace
think the
high.
bet I was calling his bet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm happy.
All right.
I got one.
Hey guys, who's in the call? Let me look.
How's it going?
Hey, who wants to take a shot?
I'll take one. Why not? It's
The
Joey,
new
by the way.
Joey. We have a
Yeah.
new Joey. The new and improved
I've
Joey.
I've
You're
been
up.
here before, but it's been a while for me.
All right.
Hey Joey.
Alrighty. So
Alright,
we
so
got,
next one.
alrighty.
Here we go. Alright, so you've arrived at the river. This is, what would you like to do, sir?
Well, I mean, same situation as the last one. I'm just definitely looking to check call a bet here, maybe bet small, but definitely gonna lean towards a check.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is a check call.
I like it.
It
Bet
wants
small,
a little
okay.
bit of a blocker here.
I assume that the blocker, and also just because I don't think the jack is gonna be too common for his range. I don't think he could. I mean, yeah, maybe some like jack tens, but yeah, okay, I can see why you go for a blocker, especially with the
I
paired
can
board.
see this. I think there's one other reason that we block here is the paired fours. The
Yeah.
paired fours keep him from raising our block when he has a jack.
Mhm.
So we
That is
only-
a really good point, Scotty.
Yeah.
Let's investigate that. I think you have a really good point. But we have all the fours, right? We have more fours.
Right.
So
Oh,
the
yeah.
first thing to confirm is here. And then we can go ranges.
I also think because of the paired fours, they're going to call with ace highs off like at a pretty good clip too. Like they're going to call worse.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
Because there's only 4 cards for us to hit, right?
Yeah, because it's less cards for us to have there.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are right that we have the trips advantage. I mean, they don't have any trips on this line that they took. So we've got all the trips, which is probably driving the fact that we can block bet. And so here, so that's the first question we have. Are we getting to block bet because we have a trips advantage? And on this texture, the trips are the nuts. So the answer is yes. And the other question is, how far down on a range can we block our size? And where, and also for me, it would be, this is what we expect to see in these, on this line and on this texture, is this really polarized strat when it goes check, check on turn. So notice we're putting the blocker size also into our no equity hands.
As long as we block 4, 5, 6. Yeah, as long as we have a 6 or a 7, block a straight.
Yeah,
So we're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
large with the 6 or a 7.
No, we can blocker bet.
Okay, we can block our
Blocker
small.
bet
Okay.
bluff.
let's
Or
see what we're
large.
doing with our eights. So I think our eights which are gonna be what, the second pair. Yeah, we're just purely blocking. We don't care about our kicker even. We're just purely blocker betting. But
And
I think
jack?
you have a very good point. I think that, so let's also check, because we had a question about ace high calls. What size is it like blocker? It likes, the B25.
2.5. Tiny.
So we use a B25 here. No, is that right? Yeah, B25. I think, yeah, it looks like he's with his ace highs. He essentially is indifferent depending on kicker. So we are gonna get a lot of calls. We are gonna get paid by ace high.
Right. And the important thing here, though, is we're not going to get raised. So
Yes.
if he has
So
a jack,
he is
doesn't-
gonna raise at some frequency, and that's
Yeah.
gonna come from
he does. He raises some jack.
raise,
Okay, I'm wrong.
raise. Yeah, he's gonna raise a little bit.
All right.
He's gonna raise a significant amount. What if we, just out of curiosity now, do we ever have big bets on this board? Because we do occasionally have a B82. Big bet here. That's what I meant. So we do have some over bets with some portion of our range. Just curious. Now, what's his raise frequency now? It was very high. It was 14% of the blocker. And now he's no. When we bet this size, he has just no raises.
Except for
And that probably is being driven by our trips advantage, I think, Scotty.
Yeah, he's got to have a full house.
Yeah. He's gotta have a full house. Okay. So Joey, next one.
All right.
All right, you've arrived with ace high.
Ooh, okay, this is a nice one. Oh man. with ace high, I feel like you're just trying to get the showdown here, really cheaply. And I don't know if I think it's just a check, really.
I agree. I think this is also just check and try to realize your equity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we face bet? We do not. Do we beat 8 jack? Okay, nice. Ah, opportunities, as they say. All right, another ace
No.
high. Let me see. So we've got interesting board.
We got a one-liner,
Yeah.
right? We got, yeah, 7.
We never had-
Again, I don't. I mean, we do have. I think we do have a bit. We have a lot of 7s in our range, but is this combination good enough to bluff?
Yeah, when I look at this, I'm like thinking to myself, well, we have this kind of strategic tension between we do probably have the straight advantage, and we can confirm that after looking to
Mhm.
solve. But also, oftentimes our ace is good enough to win. I would imagine because we, in our head, we're thinking. Well, I'll let you decide what you want to do before I give my opinion. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, talk all you want. Don't worry. But honestly, I don't. I feel like turning a pair, like maybe like bottom pair into a bluff, or like like a 6 or 4 would be better, maybe, or like maybe even having a 5. I don't honestly. I'm leaning towards a check here, or maybe the solver like a big bet. But yeah, I think checking.
Okay. Um, I wonder if we split our range here. I wonder if we get checks and also we do get to represent this straight. So we get like a check and oh, you got it right.
Yeah.
And you do
Okay.
sure. And okay, so he puts a bet in.
I'm definitely folding this hand, I think.
Everybody folding? Anybody else doing anything else other than folding?
No, I'd fold.
I wonder if we get check raises here.
Yeah, you do
I
block
do
in that.
too.
Great.
The
Yeah.
jack's a good blocker if to have 4 check raise, but
Yeah. I wonder if we get check raises here. I think fold is definitely gonna be um part of the strategy, but I wonder if we get a like a raise to 21 or a shove.
not shove.
No, no.
The raise
We are all
Yeah.
Oh, we
well,
just
at least I'm a degen. I'm a
A
maniac
pretty
today.
good clip of calling here.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there is a good clip. One more and then we'll pass it on, Joey.
Yeah, yeah.
You only
Yay,
have the
great
nuts.
fold.
The
Great fold.
nuts. Ah, okay. So, bet. Okay. So if we got
It's
a
really
four
giving us
liner,
interesting spots here.
yeah. I mean, you only have 10 high. You're not winning. That's the thing. You have to bet here to win. Can you get an ace to fold, or any other like under pairs to an ace? I think you gotta. I'm thinking. I mean, you don't really have. I mean, yeah, you block. What was it? 8-7. Right. Yeah, you block. You have a block at 8-7. So I think you're going big here, in my opinion. I don't think you're going small. I think you're going 132.
I am not on team Joey so strong.
Ah, 60. All right. All
But
right.
we do have a betting frequency. I think
Yeah.
so. This is what I often find when I'm in solver is that solver will take a similar strategic line. Like it will bluff when I bluff, but I'm often also bluffing at a bigger size than what solver wants to do. But you don't,
Mhm.
we're not breaking the machine here.
And just so you know, when I disagreed, I just disagreed wrong in a different way. I was on check
He's
fold.
just
I was
yeah.
on check fold and lose.
Just give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who's out there? So Mike or Derek, you guys want to do couple?
All right, I'll take it.
Hey, Mike. Okay.
All
So
right.
this is an interesting run out, right? So he checked back the jack. That's an interesting choice on his part on turn.
When we take this line and turn goes check, check after we call this, excuse me, after we call the C bet, we really have to bet a lot of the times. Now, this is a hand that could potentially have some showdown value, but I am going to take the bet line here, and I'm going to B60.
And before you hit the button, you
Oh,
hit the button,
sorry.
right? Argument was going to be that ace is so good for his range. We have showdown, but more important, we just don't have a right to bet an ace here.
You're right.
Yeah,
The
I think
ace
it's
is
kind of
probably,
neutral, to be honest. I think the ace is pretty neutral.
Okay,
well, we can find out. Let's find out. So let's look and see if anybody has a top pair advantage here. Because I think the ace also is a little bit, deceptive sometimes as to who does have an advantage. We get the ace. Now the question for me is who has got more top pair? So we go top pair, right? And so what's interesting is that we're both kind of right because they've got a shit ton more combos of ace,
but
right?
higher percentage, and which is what matters.
But we have identical. We have more as a percentage of range that plays this way.
Okay. They have more
Right.
better aces. Their aces are better than ours overall.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point out about kicker. I think yes, they
Okay.
definitely have better kickers. That's a
Okay.
very important point.
Okay. Good
So,
enough.
like right here. So, I think, yeah. So I'm not sure about this. I guess really it comes down to the fact that when this ace shows up, and we talk about it being better than range, better for the imposition RFI's range. I think it's probably true on the most important level of kicker advantage. Because they have ace king and ace queen, and we only have a smattering of those. Because we are
We
going to
have
three
the
bet.
equity advantage on this card.
Say it again.
We have the equity advantage though right now, right?
We
Yeah,
do have an equity advantage, but that's probably driven more by, well, let's look.
that's
So
nice.
here, when we check, we're at 51-48, right?
Yeah.
And then the ace comes, and then it changes a little bit towards us.
Yeah. So the ace is better for us.
The out of position player.
Yeah, the ace was better for us than them. I was wrong. Okay.
Because we have the best hand categories. We have two pair a lot, or more. I should say not a lot. We have it more often than they do. They
Yeah.
can have the strong aces, but they don't have ace. Well, I guess they could, but
So I think this is important. I think percentage of range is important, but I also think kicker is important here too, right? Kicker is getting pretty into the minutiae maybe, but essentially I think this is more of a wash than we, because as a percentage of range, right here, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
look at the best hand advantage. Where are our best hands? We have the sets. We have probably more two pair
Clear.
sets and two pairs. Is that
and-
what in straights? 3 5s. I mean,
So yeah, so when we go to best hand, we're killing it, right? We definitely have the nut advantage on this. And because we have,
All the way from 50% up, we own it.
yeah, we have all the sets is the big part, right? They don't have sets. They don't have sixes, fours, and twos.
They don't have straights. We have straight.
And we have straights. And maybe we do have, and we have a similar amount of ace X. I think maybe I need to discount my idea about kicker being an issue here. Yeah, so we do definitely run really good here on this line. And you can see in the linear equity graph, right? So
Yeah.
in the top half, we're really dominating. So that drives us to bet, but it also drives us to check. So who knows?
Because we have the best known non-pair.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing to look at, okay, now that we're deep diving, so we see that we have this massive range advantage, right? So I don't know if I quite be as dramatic. It's massive. But we have a range advantage.
We have a big nut advantage. We have a 50.
And we have big nut advantage. So in my opinion, this should drive a significant amount of bluffing.
And there
we
it
should
is.
now have a significant part of our range of trash hands that we're gonna bluff, right? And I don't
Yeah.
think that's really true. So I'm now filter for trash hands. And we're not bluffing our trash hands at a very high frequency here. Even after turn check check. So that's not the case. And
But we
maybe,
have,
yeah, I think
but we have enough trash hands to, we have enough not king, queen trash hands to bet. Cause we can bet our king, king 10 to get him to fold king, queen. We can bet our queen 10 and our 10, if anything like that we got here with.
Yeah, we can be more selective, right? That's why king queen can still just check here and then
Sometimes,
take a little bit more selective choice with worse kings to bet.
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, cause just look at the range again. Just go to trash hand.
Okay.
And let's ones we bet all the time. And I think you're gonna just see a ton of pure crap.
Okay, so let's go to here. Let's filter for trash hands. Do you want to see trash hands that bet or all or
This is good enough.
okay?
Yeah, 10-9, 10-8, 10-7, all the tens. And yeah, and kings and every king except for king, queen.
So king queen just must have enough equity.
Yeah.
To
7, 8.
want to check, right?
Yeah.
So if you look, so let's do it this way. Let's do it fancy way here. Let's go to, it's clear. King, queen, and then let's go see where it falls on our equity branch. And we can imagine when we look at breakdown, we're gonna see this in kind of the middle and green area, which is gonna be full of checks.
And bottom
So
pair.
it's right here.
There it is. Okay.
So it is our worst. It is essentially one of the worst hands that has enough equity to check.
Yeah.
All these dark regions are king queens.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And we can see, yeah, so it's just good enough to check. And then our bluffs start right here. With like whatever this is, king 10, as we
King
said.
10, yeah. And we saw that. King 10 and queen 10 like 100% and king
Yeah.
6.
So that's what we have essentially a threshold hand here. All right, next one. Who's going? Mike's going, right?
Yeah. So we bet. Do we get any do we get a call? Do we get a raise? Do we get a fold? As far as
Punishes
we're
us.
and I'm just folding.
That is a very interesting life choice.
Yeah, that's a strange raise.
Yeah.
That I wonder, okay, another very quick deep dive. I just have to know how much he does this. Is this full frequency or low frequency?
I hope it's low frequency, but because it is not Jonathan Little approved in Jonathan Little in my head. The
He
real
just broke so many rules. Under the gun raises and let's look, yeah, low frequency, very low frequency.
Good.
It's only with the hearts for some weird reason and it's very low frequency. All right. Next one.
All right. All righty, right. So pardon me while I kind of do the action in my head. I kind of have to do that. I'm like pretty slow when it comes to just seeing the situation. I have to like reenact it.
Yeah, I think that
Um,
makes sense. Yeah, it's not usual that we skip right to the,
I like a check and decide, but I'm not betting. I'm not betting.
so our gut is telling us that our gut's telling us we get to bet because of our blocker properties, but the flush came in. But it went
And the
check,
four-
check.
And we block the nut straight, but we do not block
Block the four liner. No.
the 4-liner.
It's a very complex board.
Yeah.
By the way, I got this from watching, so Matt Affleck, I don't know, 2 months ago, he just said, okay, I'm gonna do a study session on Discord. And you guys can come and watch how I study. And this is one of the drills that he ran
I like it.
for himself. So yeah, you hit it. This is just a check.
Now, when we face a bet, though, that's the question. Yeah. Okay.
Next. We arrive with twos on a
Mm.
paired board with an ace. And 3 to a straight.
Okay.
Bluff.
So this is another situation where, I mean, we have, we can show down here because they have a lot of Broadway cards that didn't get there that check along the way, but I don't think our spade is going to be real relevant here as far as the blocker goes. But
I agree.
I also think that they're going to check back their Broadways. I think we're going to check and just show down here. So I'm checking and show down.
I mean, the interesting line here is if we check and they bet, what's our calling
Yeah.
frequency?
Yep, that's
Maybe we'll run through this a couple times. So we can put in this very interesting, to me, kind of nuts overbet.
yeah.
I was not expecting this frequency. What about this? The 7 must be really good for us.
Mhm.
We must play our 7s like this at a very high frequency. Okay, let's run through this one again because it's an interesting spot. Okay, so same situation. I don't know why I went through it again, but let's choose to check. Oh, I want to see if he ever bets. Okay, one more time, just because I'm a glutton for abuse. Okay, I'm over it. Next hand. All right, king high.
Okay. Again, we're in that same situation. Like, I really am going to be betting a lot here. But this king queen is just kind of that hand that we can still probably have that equity with the showdown with the king queen. This board, yeah, I'm going to check again. This is another check, and I would bet like worse hands.
And
And I'm,
so
I'm checking this one.
the other question is, do we ever play our 6-7 this way? And we don't, because 6-7 is a straight, the flop straight. We don't play it this way. Okay, check.
Not often.
It does have some bluffs
Yep.
on this line for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, just like before. I mean, it's like kind of almost a mandatory bet with, when you get to this spot with this line, you're betting a lot with a bunch of junk that you have. But king queen is just, I think, on that threshold.
Like what
Similar
we
to
saw
that.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we get here, river. Okay, so we get here. Breakdown. And well, let's just use the king queen example to start it off. King queen is mixed, and it's right down here. It has less equity on this hand.
Hmm.
But yeah, so our bluffs are just a little bit lower down. Maybe these have blockers. They do. This is blocking 6-7. And then we have this weird nether region. Twos this time, checking pure. Okay. Anybody else out there want to play? Joey, Scotty, Derek, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You want to give it a shot?
Okay.
Okay. Next hand.
See you guys Monday.
Scotty, thank you very much for the Zoom. We appreciate it. And are you
Full
fully available on Monday?
frequency Monday. See you then. Knock it
All
out,
right.
Eric. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome, Joey.
All right, Derek, you've gotten to the river and you have a 6. So it's flop B33, turn check check. And now you've gotten with quite a marginal hand on a 4 to a straight and a flush available.
I'm happy to show down my 6s.
Okay. Well played, sir.
Well,
Oh, put me to the test.
Well, I have to call a third of the time.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
your
calling
pot
here.
odds are 27%. So
Yep.
the first question I'd ask here. Okay, so I have marginal showdown. That's true. So I am gonna cure this at some frequency, especially this size. Now, do I have any relevant blockers? I'd make this call a lot more if I had a diamond, right? I have this call a lot more. I don't know what block. Oh, well, so you're blocking ace five. I wonder if that matters. Are you blocking, how many ace fives? And you're blocking one combo of ace five seated. Okay, sorry, I took over your session. What do you think, Dan?
Um, see, my population is incredibly passive. So they don't go for thin river value.
Okay, so then
But I'm
this
not playing
in your
against Phil
population, but
Ivey,
you're
right?
playing Phil Ivey.
If I'm playing against Phil Ivey, he's obviously aggressive enough, and so I'd say I guess fourth. Do I think Phil Ivey would bet fifth pair?
Well, you saying Phil Ivey is aggressive enough, but he's balanced enough.
Right. So he'd bet his fifth pair in a balanced way that I wouldn't gain advantage by calling or raising or anything, right?
Well, what you can do is understand the qualities of your hand.
Okay.
And um Mike or Joey or anybody out there, feel free to tell me if I'm off base. So we have to so what are the qualities of our hand? So
We have fourth pair top kicker.
yeah, fourth pair, top pair, yeah. So the first question is, do we ever beat value here? Or is this a pure bluff catcher?
I don't think he's betting fifth pair for value.
Okay,
Is he ever betting fifth pair for value? I don't think so.
probably not. I would guess, I think that's correct.
So we can probably fold this. And if he bluffed us off fourth pair, boo-hoo.
Okay, well, let's just go through the process just to do it. And also you guys could tell me if I'm off base with this. Because I can always use a buddy check if you would as to my thought process. So my thought process is this a bluff catcher? And are we ever beating value? I think my answer is no. Does everybody,
Yeah,
does
Yeah,
anybody,
correct. This is
you're just not beating anything. I mean, flushes, you got two straights. It's like,
yeah,
it's
it's
a
a bluff
fold.
catcher. So do we have, the next question is, does population under or over bluff this betting line? And I would answer yes.
Oh,
This is a highly bluffed line. Cause the four was not, I mean, it brought in a backdoor flush, which we're not blocking. But the four is generally not going to be good for them, especially because they're limited on ace five. I think ace five is the hand that is most likely to nut up here, and we are blocking one of them. So I'm actually getting ahead of myself. So I'm thinking, is this an overbluffed line? The answer is yes. Do we have any valid blockers here? And are we blocking value and unblocking bluffs?
we're blocking bluffs.
We are, I think you're right. So I think I'm a little confused on this one, frankly. I was very focused on blocking ace five, but I think the more important thing is that we're blocking all of his ace highs, which I
Right.
think is much more important than the fact that um, we're blocking one combo ace five. The much more important issue, which Mike brought up, is that we're blocking all of his ace X bluffs. So that's a bad thing. So we got, so we're never beating value. That's not good. It is an over bluff line that puts us towards calling. And we are blocking his kind of high frequency bluffs, which are a lot of ace highs. So I kind of think a fold is okay. And that's what you wanted to do too, right? Right there?
Yeah, I'm folding, and like my population doesn't thin value bluff on
Okay.
the river. And maybe once in a blue moon. So
Oh, good call.
oh,
So
oh, 99.9.
Wow.
I'm very wrong.
it's not a big winner.
I'm not right.
0.22, it's very close, but
Okay, so
let's look
I'm
and see. Let's look and see how much. Well, look, I think the most interesting question here first is what 6x are we calling? So 6x on this is what? Fourth pair. So we're not going to get kind of filter the ideal here. So a6 is calling pure. And the other question is filters, low pair. So with the 6x, a6 is calling, right? Let's look at EV. Good difference. A6 is calling. King 6 is indifferent, essentially folding. Queen 6 is. So we know that a6 is our best hero call with 6x, right? We can see that in expected value. Let me ask you guys a question. Is my theory around blocking ace 5 of important here? Or am I off base?
Man, I don't know. I don't see it, but
Okay. Okay, because we also can see that we're hero calling with ace 4 too. I really kind of want, there's a reason for it, right? So,
yeah, filter for all the pairs. Filter
Okay.
for one pair.
okay, filter for,
Can you filter for like one pair?
uh,
So
I
all the
could do,
pairs, like top
I could do,
pair
oh,
or
yeah,
second
I
pair.
could do that. Over pair, top pair, second pair, third pair, low pair. All the pairs are on the board.
And they're pretty much all calling except for just a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, so that's an important point. Globally, we're calling 65% of any of our pairs on this line. The thing I think it's important to see is that we're calling all of our ace X. And I don't think so that's either kicker driven because we have the best kicker for that respective pair, or it's blocker driven. And we're not sure. And I don't think we're gonna get an answer. So YouTube, if you're watching this, please give us an answer below.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
even
go ahead,
threes
Mike.
and
Sorry.
twos, even pocket threes and pocket twos are. So
Hero in.
he just has a lot of bluffs here.
Well, let's look. That's a really good question. Let's see. Clear. So breakdown. So his king high and his no made hand are going to be his bluffs, right? He's going to check back, and he is betting at a high frequency with trash.
Hey, he found a B27, yet this says 0%. Right?
He
Didn't
found
he?
that's a B60, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We were 27% pot odds. Never mind.
Okay, no worry. Yeah, we were 27% on. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think your theory is right. He just has a high bluffing frequency on this line because he is checking back his ace highs, but his king highs and no mid hand are going to bet at a high frequency. So that's driving
Yeah.
our desire to hero call.
Yep, that's important. He's going to check back ace highs and bet his other crap.
Yeah, that is important. I think you nailed it on the head in the sense that, okay, well, why are we hero calling at such a high frequency? Well, let's look at opponent's strategy. And that gave us the answer, which is he's bluffing at a high frequency. All right, deep dive complete, sir. Next one. Next hand. All right, Derek, you've
Okay.
another 3-to straight. You've
Mm,
arrived at the river with ace high.
okay. I want to just show down my ace high.
Okay. Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
Dick, your microphone's just a little quiet. I know oftentimes you
Okay,
can turn
can
it
you
up
hear
if
that
you
now?
want. Say it again.
Is that good? Can you hear me
That's
now?
much better. Thank you.
Okay.
Much better.
Yeah, that hand is just too good, right? I mean, we're
Yeah, it's just too good. Yeah, it's too far up. And he scams us. All right. Next one, Derek. Now this is interesting, right?
Yep.
This is like so let's think about this line, right? So we'll have to look at it afterwards, but I don't think this is checking. Maybe it's well, yeah, it is. It makes sense you take this line against UTG. He bet small on what is a relatively safe board for you on flop. You called, you checked, maybe with a high frequency of check raise with this hand. He checked back, and now you've arrived here with an open pair.
Okay, I think I can make a small bet here.
Okay.
We got one pair, so
So what? So 9-7 is a straight, right? He doesn't have 9-7 suited.
yeah, he has no straights in his range.
Yeah. Does have, he can lockbox into a set of tens. Essentially, I think the only thing that I don't think he does, I don't think he plays aces and kings this way. So you want to bet small, right?
yep. Like
So
let's
you want to
bet
beat
30.
27%?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to think that we get the big bit bigger here.
Yep, I agree.
Um,
Okay.
and I think we beat 60 here. I think he's capped, right? He's capped because
Yep.
he went check check and no straights available. I think this hand is going to be 60, but we're going to we might have some frequency of this. I think we get to bet bigger because our hand is
Better.
getting value from all the 10x it just got there, any 8x, right? So it gets ace 8 suited, ace 6 suited, calls, any 10x. He's got a lot of 10x, right? He's got like queen 10, jack 10, king 10. So yeah, well, we're wrong and you're right. Well, yeah, so we were wrong at the B60. We polarized a lot more here. But your hand is definitely in range to make this play.
132. Look at it betting 132.
Yeah, I know. It's getting out of control.
Wow.
And he just folded this. So okay. So I think we know why we make this bet. I think we make your size a lot because he's just capped, right?
Yeah.
Small bet flop, check, check turn. He's just got a capped range. Next.
Yeah, I was in the bigger bet camp too. I just didn't think that we wanted to blast it. So I thought B60 was good, but it liked it much higher.
I wonder if we blast it because he's got a lot of 10x, which changed the top pair.
Mm-hmm.
And so that drives it. All right, you've arrived with ace 5 and again 3 to a straight. No, it's not 3 to a straight, but you are blocking the straight.
Yep. We're blocking the
What is 3 to a straight?
low straight.
You're blocking Lord Broadway though. You're blocking his ace 3 suited.
Yep. I think we can just check and bluff catch here.
Yeah, I think check is fine. I think there's gonna be checking here. So the only question I have is the king is good for him, but he checked it back. The only question I've got is, are we incentivized to bet on a board that pairs or blocking the nuts with an intent to fold out seven, eights, nines, and tens? I think check is definitely gonna be part of the strategy, but I do think we're gonna have some bets, some bluff bets here with this. I could be wrong. Maybe we never, this hand is so good, we never turn it into a bluff.
I think this
Uh,
board is different. I think we want to be betting quite often here and large.
Yeah, that's my instinct. My instinct is that we do get big bets here. Because this five is good for us. We're blocking the straight. And he checked back the king. But I think I think it's gonna have a mixed strategy. Ah, we're wrong.
Good
We're
job,
just
Derek.
maniacs, Mike, and
Yeah.
Derek is the one who's balanced appropriately.
I wonder if we
Let's
get
see if
check raises then.
Ah, that's a good question.
So like here, I wonder if a check raise is a good play, or if we just still get to call frequently.
I
Well,
would
we'll
just
give Derek the
call
floor
and-
first. Derek, what would
I-
you like to do here?
I'd like to just call and realize all my equity.
Okay, we're gonna look at the solve after this. Yeah, we just fold.
No, 0% fold. I'm wrong there.
So I thought, I was with Mike here. I thought on this run out with this action, we're gonna get bluffs. Ace queen obviously is just too good, I think is the argument.
That's what I thought.
And you know what I'm seeing here a lot is what I see in game is that, or in solves is that solver often will play, especially out of position, will play a more defensive game. It's not quite as aggro as humans are sometimes. Okay, so we're here, right?
Yep.
We're at the decision point. Now the question we have is, well, the first question we have is, how often are we bluffing? So we can look here. We're not really bluffing that much. No, we're not bluffing a lot. We are. So this is trash hands that we bet. So we're bluffing around this region. Not our aces, ace 10 sometimes. Ace 9, but ace queen is just too good. The kicker's just too good. But queens suck, right? Here. I don't think they have any blocker properties that I can think of.
King, queen.
Yeah, that's a good point. King, queen, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That might, yeah. Good point. So these are where our bluffs coming from. Look at a different geeky perspective here. And we just don't have that big a bluffing region on this one now. I thought we would have more. Because of the texture, because of the paired board. Maybe the king is just, maybe, okay, so the question then becomes for me, and then we'll go on to the next one is, here, right? At what frequency does he check his king X? Because I think of this king as being really good for his range. So let's go, so now we're on under the guns range. After he get checked to on turn. Now let's go to, and the king is top pair. So yeah, so he does check at some frequency his king X. So he's protecting his checking range here. At the appropriate solver approved checking frequency. So maybe that's part of the reason that we don't bluff at a high frequency. Okay.
Yeah, and this seems like a pretty common heuristic when we get to this with this line, this river, that when you have the big aces, they're just happy to kind of show down.
Yeah, and you know, I want to say that I prefer the aggressive betting strategy that we were talking about against humans. And maybe just because I like action. but, solver consistently is playing a more defensive game here. I think that the big exception, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. How many humans are going to check this king?
No, yeah, the population is not going to check back a king when they have a king at this, at the frequency that a solver is, right? They're the typical 50 no limit player is going to bet that every time.
Especially in position too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to recognize this card is good for them and they're going to bet it. Okay. Cool.
So I think that makes betting that ace queen on the river, better, even though solver didn't like it. Betting
Yeah.
it into population is going to be, it's going to have some positive aspects to it.
Okay. All right. Derek, one more?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we hear it. It's going to tell us we win. Nice hero with ace high, dude. Fuck solver. You
Well, we
won.
made the wrong move, but we won. Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
All
So
right.
the solver folds, but I'm not playing against Phil Ivey. So
True. One to a straight. You've got second pair.
well, second pair is obviously the nuts here
Hobbs.
because if he had like most of my population, if they have a queen, they're betting it, and if they have a straight, a lot more money would be at this point in the pot at this point. So I'm totally happy with my second pair on a straight board.
Okay. So,
So I'm making a small bet here.
okay. So you're going to blocker bet here.
No, I'm betting for value, I think.
Okay. What size are you going to use?
I'm betting 27 for value.
Okay. So I'm using the term blocker bet
Yep.
because generally when we have this line, we have a check on turn, and then we choose a small bet. Often it's called a blocker bet.
Yeah, and it can still be for value.
And it can still be, yeah. And it can still be for value.
I thought blocker bet means you're betting so that they don't bet.
It's a really kind of mergy term.
Okay. This is new to me. Okay.
It is kind of a mergy term. It's like, it means, because on its face, prima facie, if you're fancy, it means we're blocking them from betting because they have to make a very aggressive move to bet because they have to raise. So we're setting our price. But I think the term also means we hope to get called by worse over 50% of the time. So I'd like to check this back. Let's see how they react to this though. And I assume he folds. All right. Well, why don't I do a couple and then we'll move on to Bartans. Does it sound good, guys?
Yeah, this is pretty good though. I'm liking this. This is a good exercise.
Okay, cool.
Well, I learn a lot when I make wrong moves. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
works
I
out
mean,
for
that's
me.
when we all learn a lot.
So
Go ahead,
so
Derek.
this is very wrong.
I don't know if it's very wrong. Well, we can see. I mean, I can tell you what the solver
Click
thinks.
on If you click on that little river tag down at the bottom, it will bring up, if you click on that little river, see right
Yeah.
there, it'll bring up the EV of your choices. So your bet still had 3.3 in EV.
So it's a plus EV move,
It was still profitable.
and it's a second to
Checking is more EV.
yes, checking is more EV. But let's, just for the hell of it, let's just dive in. So with our 9, we've got second pair on a 4 straight board. So we've got second pair, right? So it does, so we're close. Where are we? Am I on the right part of the tree? No. I want to be in this part of the tree. So yeah, so it just wants to check back second pair. So then the question becomes, well, where is the value threshold for beating for value betting, right? So if we deep dive this, we can highlight this here, go to breakdown and see where it shows up. And you see this dark region here?
Yep.
So it shows up pretty close to where our value threshold is. Right? So this is in our, you can kind of see, I know we've shown this 100 times. Highest equity hands are up here, trash is down here. And we have this check region here in the middle. And we are very close to where we begin to value bet. So where is that threshold? So that threshold begins to show up here with jacks. So really it wants to begin to value bet blocker size these over pairs.
Second pair, Jack should
Oh,
be
I'm sorry, you're right, second pair. And then we value bet all these queens with a marginal kicker. And then once we get, you kind of follow it down here too. Because it moves up the line of top pairs and makes that dark. And then we get, and then we're doing this weird probably check call thing with ace queen. This is probably involved like, I don't know why we're check calling it. Ace queen, maybe there's a block of property there which doesn't give him enough to call. And then we get to the best of our top pairs, which are now increasing our bet size, right? So now our bet size is to be 60. We got all these ace queens. And then we're probably going to go to the next class of hands here, which are two pair. So the point is, I guess, is that we were down here. We were close to where we begin to block our bet, right? But it
Mhm.
doesn't really start to second pair. All right. That was a very geeky deep dive. All right, I'm going to do a couple.
Okay.
So I put you guys all through experience here. All right, so ace is really, so we've arrived. Let me see, so B through 3, we call, I'm curious that we call this combo. Maybe because this, maybe we call this combo because this is, well, this is gonna be a donking board for us, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe we call it because we've got such high equity and nut advantage. We have nut advantage here. But if we have nut advantage and it goes check, check, we must be planning to. The only reason to call this, I would think, is to plan to bluff. This hand, it's very hard for it to improve unless the king or queen comes. So I'm gonna YOLO this. Also with the blocker to the flush. I found it.
Wow. Attaboy.
Good job.
So any CFPs that want to hire me, please put a note below.
I don't find that.
Well, my argument was that we're calling this on flop for a reason. This marginal hand.
We have the best possible flop. even
We
though it
have a
doesn't hit
flop, but
us.
we have a nut advantage. So if we look at this, let's see what happens. He might shove on us. He heroes us. We lost anyway. Forget the thing CFP, just just ignore that. So my
So you made the
argument
best
for
possible
why,
move, but lost money. That's what happened there.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, don't be results oriented. It
Yep.
was a good bet.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Best possible.
So my
Um,
argument here is that we're gonna donk at a high frequency here because we have a nut advantage. This is on flop, right? So we're gonna have, we're pure donk.
Oh, just pure.
But we found this. We found one of the combos. So my argument is if we're checking this back, well, we've got So one thing I was reading about, so I was in a study session on Sunday. And it was really clarified that when we donk, our donk isn't about range advantage, it's about nut advantage. And we're driven to donk because the board is so bad for imposition that they are going to check at a super high frequency.
Yep.
And because of that, we're driven to donk because they hardly ever put money in the pot when we have such a clear nut advantage. Not a range advantage, but a nut advantage. That's what drives donk. And so, he bets. Then we're calling here with what I think is probably a low equity hand.
I think it'd be probably one of the bottom.
We're hardly ever calling this. We're just in
Yeah.
a really we're just folding. We're just in a really low frequency part of the tree. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Mike. What were you saying?
No, I just thought this king queen offsuit is probably at the very bottom of our range.
Our calling range here.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, well, let's look. Yeah, we're just not really calling it, or it's right down here. It was super low frequency.
And and we've seen this before when we use the very bottom of our range and we get, to the river, it's just always bet, right?
High frequency for sure. So let's look. So check, check. Ace comes. And then let's go look and see where this falls. So this is before we take any action, right? This is our strat. Let's highlight this. We hardly can see it, but if we go to breakdown, yeah, it's falling. They're falling down here. There's one, for instance, ace queen, but they're kind of spread because I guess they all have different frequencies depending on blocker qualities. But yeah, let's just actually turn this off for a second. Yeah, we just bluffing it. It's the bottom. It has no equity.
Mhm.
It was like 8% equity or something, 35% equity. Okay. All right. Next hand. All right, so paired board. We're at bottom of range here. This seems like a very easy bluff. Yeah. We're gonna
I would've
bluff it.
found
We're
the-
just,
Yep. Yeah. Good bluff. I would have found the bigger size. I would have found the B132.
yeah. And I think that's a good size against humans. Because you are representing more of a 7 when you hit this.
Queen 10. Do not.
Let's repeat the hand. He's not gonna have the same combo, unfortunately. But let's B132.
Snap called.
Boy's got top pair that time. All right, one more for me. All right, so we're not turning this into a bluff. This card is really good for him. I think we got check folding here.
Yeah, I like check fold.
Gonna have showdown. Now we win. Okay. I'll let you guys choose. Do you guys want to do some more of these? Or do you want to go on to marked hands? I'll let you guys decide.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I kind of suck at this, so I want to do some more of this if that's okay with everyone else. But
Yeah, I kind of do too. I really like
think-
this.
This is big
think
stuff
that-
here. Big stuff.
Okay, sure. Let's do some more. Okay. Who wants?
So
I'll do 3. We'll
yeah,
go around the horn. Who wants to do some more? Who wants
go
to?
ahead, Joey. I think Joey
Yeah.
let us off. So
Alrighty.
All right, Joey.
Ooh, top pair. This is one I feel like we haven't gone over yet, actually. No, we did with queens. I feel like this one. What was it? I think we can go kind of. No, I don't think going big here would be great, but I think actually we could. But we also don't have a heart paired board. I think betting honestly like 60. I think bet 60 would be a good bet here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I like 60, maybe even big size, but yeah,
We
not with
beat
the
a lot of
flush.
value. We can get called by a lot worse. Kings.
Good.
Yeah, well, you guys, yeah, good play. I think that betting here is better than, well, especially when we see his combo. Betting here is better against humans than checking. I mean, I think the check frequency there was driven by the fact that solver is going to
Yeah, protect that. They're not.
in
They're
value bet a
protecting.
lot. And we can hero, it's not even hero, we can call. I'm curious I'm just curious what the equity is in this hand. Look here. Yeah, this is clearly in the realm of we're gonna value bet. But we're checking, I guess, to protect our checking range. It's right up here. It's in this weird spot. We're doing a lot of trapping here for some reason. Right? This is like 87%. When we get up to these, this is gonna be all like boats. Maybe the reason is that maybe we're checking this not as a trap. Maybe we're checking this because see there's more boats here. Okay, so now we're looking at full houses. He doesn't have any boats, in theory. So this must be a trap. And I would imagine it's trapping because he doesn't have that. He is calling very gingerly, for lack of a better word, on this board, which evidently we have boats that he doesn't have.
What about like say king queen with the say king of or oh actually no yeah king queen with like the queen of hearts or even king jack with the jack of hearts. If we're doing anything different there.
Okay, let's look. Blocking the flush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really kind of mixed, actually.
Yeah.
I think this might be because a paired board. Maybe that's why. Maybe
Mhm.
it's not as important.
All right.
And
Well,
go ahead, sorry.
no, I was saying that was I just wanted to see. I was a little curious about that.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Joey.
Okay. I think this one's just another check. Get the showdown. I don't. Yeah, no one of those ace high hands.
Yeah.
Check fold.
Bastard.
Just do a quick check. I wonder if it's a check call to a blocker. 'Cause we've kind of been seeing this, and I just wanted to see if this falls into that realm.
So we check out of position, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
So when we check here, what's his most common bet size? So his most common bet size is a B60. You want me to give him a B60?
Yep.
And we're curious what ace high hero calls on this
Yeah.
texture.
Yep.
Um,
So our pairs are 7, 8s, 5s, and 4s, and 3s.
so
Or
filter.
ace high.
Yeah,
Indifferent.
we're different. Flip a
Okay.
coin, man. It actually is flip a coin. Look at this. 50-50. We are entirely indifferent.
if we jam, what suits are there showing to the jams? Rollover
Okay.
ace jack suited clubs.
Um,
I was just curious why which suit would have the preference. Okay,
let's see if it has the same preference with tens. Not really.
not really. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Next one.
Yep.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, it looks familiar. It looks like pretty much the same strategy here. Just check.
Okay, now we have to make a decision on hero call.
Eh, again, I mean, I think we're just folding this hand, in my opinion. I mean, we
Yep.
do.
Okay, so
I mean,
let-
we have some eights. Yeah, we do beat some stuff actually. So it is actually another coin flip, in my opinion. Maybe leaning more towards a call.
yeah, I think this is very similar, obviously, to the last hand.
Yeah.
It's nice blocking ace three suited.
Hmm.
No flush. Uh, I think this is a pure bluff catcher, not being value. He's not value betting ace. Well, he can value bet super thin ace king and ace queen here.
Yeah, he
But this,
could. Yeah.
but I think fold probably is fine. Yeah, it mixes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
pretty
It does
much.
lean towards more towards a call than a fold actually.
It's super
Just 'cause
tight.
last hand was like 48%. This is 58% call.
As we go through these hands like this, right? Do we like I almost feel like if we get to in real life, it's just a pure fold. Like
Mhm.
there is no calling against population there.
Yeah.
Is it
Good
over bluffed?
question.
Is it under bluffed? Over bluffed? If it's over bluffed, then we have to call more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so the question becomes now. Um. So the question, well, I mean, we've got to make a very tough decision. There are always tough decisions here. If we're going to. What we're gonna do with our ace high. So why do I only have these ace highs? Undergun bet, big blind here. Whatever. Oh, top pair. That's why I
Yeah,
have the wrong
top pair.
filter on. There. Yeah, globally it's the same percentage. So all we can do is ask the questions, right? Do we first question, is this do we beat value? No. This is a pure bluff catcher. Ace high is a pure bluff catcher. Ace jack is a pure bluff catcher. So no, pure bluff catcher. Is this an over bluffed or under bluffed line with population? And I would say it's over bluffed, right?
You think it's over bluffed?
I think B33 call, check, 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 bet is over bluffed.
Okay. Then
Okay.
we should be calling all the time.
I don't know. I don't know about all of it. But I think the other question becomes opponent, right? Do we know this cost? Do we know anything about this? Do we have an aggressive opponent? Is villain, have we seen villain bluff before? Is villain capable of bluffing? Okay, so I think those are the first three questions. Then the final question is about blockers, right? Do we have relevant blockers here? Do we block value and unblock bluffs? And I think frankly, as a group, we're kind of not sure about these ace highs. Because
Also,
go ahead.
oh, sorry. Well, I mean, even having a jack. I mean, having if he's betting some jack highs, maybe some like queen jacks on the flop too, because it's a little more connected to the 9. But so yeah, I
Yeah.
think having a jack might be bad too.
Highlight
Yeah.
highlight the range here under the gun with non-paired hands, like unmade hands, and see what solver says they're betting, and then let's compare it to what we think population is betting as a
Okay.
bluff.
Okay. So let's look. Okay, well, that's a good question. Let's look here, right? Let's filter for trash. So these are his trash hands. And then let's filter for what he's betting.
Yeah.
So he's not betting. So he's taking his ace high to showdown. And his king highs and jack highs are where he's finding the majority.
I think you're right. I think they will overbet or overbluff based on this. Like if this is what is a balanced bluffing range, I think you're right. I think population is betting more of their hands, more hands here. I think they're betting some of their eight. They think their ace X hands are bluffs,
Yeah.
and then throw in a bunch of other junk that they would have.
So like this ace eight, they're gonna bluff at a higher frequency than this ace 10. So if they, if we start adding these ace 10 and ace eight, and we start adding more queen jack, which is actually giving up at a high frequency, it looks like. Yeah, queen jack is giving up at a high frequency. Then we begin to get into the realm of hero calling.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that probably is overbluffed or bluffed more often than this solver is than a balanced strategy.
Yeah, I honestly think this is an overbluff line in population.
I thought it might be underbluffed. I thought they just check back and expect to lose a lot. But you're right, and it's probably the opponent dependent.
Yeah, I think it's opponent dependent. Okay, next hand. All right. Second pair.
Who's going for the me again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, we can definitely go for a I think a blocker bluff would be pretty good here. So betting 25. I think that's probably the strategy here.
Okay. I can see that. I think that we're going to have a lot of checks with hero calls,
Mm-hmm.
but I bet B27 is being part of the range. Yeah,
I
you
think.
could do both.
Yep.
Well, you're mostly right. You're the one that's
Yeah.
right. Well
Good
played,
call.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Another marginal hand.
You have the 4.
It's four to a straight
4
In a-
to straight.
in a line.
Well, we do. Yeah, well, we do have a straight.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. We do have a straight.
Yeah, but we
That's
have
what
the
fours
bad
are
end,
for.
the dummy end, the straight. Yeah. Ooh, this has been a while since I've been in this situation. I feel like we shouldn't. I feel like betting here just isn't like a really good idea. Because I feel like if we bet and then we get raised, it's gonna be huge. So
Yeah, asset into the straight's always uncomfortable.
yeah, I know. I just think checking this and check calling. I mean, I don't know what we can really get value from here. Other than like maybe obviously like solver is gonna be calling with some obviously like ace 6 or like maybe river the one pair of hands. So I'm gonna lead towards a check here. I can see some betting though, maybe some betting medium like 60%.
The
But
backdoor flush
checking,
got in here as well.
yeah.
These are always very difficult spots for me. Backdoor flush got there as well.
Hmm.
Um, but
So
does he have enough nines, tens, and jacks?
Nines aren't real prevalent in the under the gun range. It's just kind of the bigger
yeah.
nine.
Yeah.
So maybe let check to induce, because
Okay.
he's probably gonna turn some 10x and jack x into a bluff.
Yeah, we're mixing.
Yeah.
Or we're indifferent. We're value betting and checking the same frequency.
Check ace high, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
never. If we bet, he's never. Well, let's just see if he ever. He's not going to hero call here. He's ace high on it. 4 straight. We B60, which is what size we took. By the way, is that the most common size? Let's see if we could, how much can we confuse a solver? By mashing buttons here. Yeah, B60, well, we're mixing blocker and B60. We B60. The question I had was, what's he doing with his ace high? Ace high. Oops. Oh, that was his flush. That's why. He's doing these weird, shoves. With
Hmm.
king high.
With
I
the
don't,
the diamond blocker.
diamond blocker, yeah. I don't think we're gonna see that in population, but it's a sexy play, right?
Mhm.
Here it is with the ace queen. So now the question becomes, for me, well, first question is, are you guys ever taking, so big blind bets, 4 to a straight. You've got let's simplify it to, you've got the ace of diamonds in position.
Yeah, I've done it many times, but not
Yeah.
on this kind of board. This board is just so like so scary to do it to population because they're just not going to fold their straights.
Yeah, I agree. It's very hard for anybody to pull a straight.
Hmm.
Um,
Especially the 9 high straight too. You know, maybe a
And-
4. Maybe some passive players will find a fold with the 4 high. You know, the bottom end of the straight, but
Yeah.
yeah.
and also the other thing is that, when solver is doing this, it's mostly shoving, it's all in, mixing in B80. And so a raise is 500% pot. A shove is 500% pot. That is such an amount of chips to risk to win 15 chips.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to get there. We'll see solver do this sometimes. And solver consistently matches his bluffs with value. And he's doing this because if we look at this and then we look at on a UTG and flush. Because now he's doing this because he's balancing his shoving range with flushes, right? My argument is that we don't need to do this as humans. We don't need to balance our bluffs and value so that we have shoves that fall into the bluffing range. I don't think it's necessary. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
In other words,
You're
do you think we do need to have in our strategy some shoves here with the ace of diamonds?
I feel like again, like I go back, it's just a lot to risk for little reward.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
assume that my opponents aren't paying attention to anything except the waitress's hemline. So I don't totally worry about anything like that.
okay. Yeah, I think that this
Does
is
that make
not, I think
sense?
that our requirement to match our bluffs with value by having bluff shoves is just not necessary. Okay. Joey, one more?
Sure. Well, I believe just a check here. Yep. Now, if he bet here, do I call? That's a good question. I feel like you can find some calls with with ace jack there.
I think so. I think it'll be similar. It'll be that. And I think this
Yeah.
one's going to be a little bit more on the call side, like the other
Mhm.
one.
So if we check, and then his most common bet size is a B60. And we go to ace high. We keep on coming on this.
The
Well,
flip.
here we have raises because it's a paired board.
Yeah.
So we get some bluff raises. But we pretty much always come on this very close to, it's a toss up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plus ace ace. So yeah, Against solver, you're supposed to mix. I think, if we go through the kind of the questions I've been talking about.
And like we said, if we think they're over bluffing and we kind of determined that they probably are, then it's a call.
Yeah, I mean, so do we get any value? No. Is this an under or over bluffed line? Yes. Is this particular opponent capable of bluffing? Yes or no? And what are our blockers? Do we have blockers that play? So, those are the questions we're gonna ask. Or those questions at least I ask. All right. Joey, one more. Oh, wait, this was your one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, you want to do something? You want to?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Well, we're getting away from our theme of having a good hand. Well, I guess this kind of sticks with the showdown type hand. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm just gonna check.
Okay. I wonder if
Check and
not blocking
decide.
9-7 is. Well, he doesn't have 9-7, right?
No.
So we don't care about blocking 9-7.
So it's facing a bet is what would be a tough decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That one seemed easy enough. So here's another one that's gonna kind of challenge that check and showdown or bluff. This is just another check. And then check and decide. Just show up with king 9.
Shot magic.
Top. We have a straight
Nice.
with that flush on board. Okay, so he's this one's kind of tough.
So he doesn't have Jack 9 in range, right?
Yes, I think Jack 9 shows. Oh no, under the gun I don't think has Jack 9.
Yeah. He doesn't. I don't think he has Jack 9. And he would have had to check his turned flush draw.
Yeah, so I think this hand falls into a potential block bet, but it could also check. And I don't think we get big bets. The question is B60 a big bet?
Yeah. I think B60 is going to be used a lot here, but I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go blocker here. No, you know what? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna kind of take it like I rolled a passive line here, and it's gonna mix, and I'm gonna check here.
Okay. Ah, you won it. You got it.
Not really much of a mix though. That's pure check almost.
Wow. Nice call there. Good check there.
And then we are hoping for this. It's an overbet, and it's just gonna be a call.
Good call. So we're
And
being
he's got
valued.
ace of spades something. Queen of spades something.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's using his flush blocker, so.
Yeah, so that one was relatively easy, although the river decision was kind of hard. Like I didn't see, I thought there would be more betting.
This one is not as easy, so let's think about line here. So he B33, right? The 4 to a straight with the wheel gets there on turn.
Yeah,
Um,
this looks like straight block
Yeah. It's an interesting spot.
because yes, the wheel is there, but so is a 6, which falls in our range.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if if he doesn't have an ace, he's not going to have any 6s unless it's 2 6s.
So it's hard for
I
him
think
to raise you with an ace.
I think we can block here. I'm going blocker size. No, it's just pure check.
It's really close EV, by the way.
Yeah, that is very close.
Maybe the issue is that he just can't call with anything.
Also, I think he would just turn a lot of random overcards into a bluff, trying to represent an ace there too, in my opinion. If you
So we
just
can
check.
hero call at some frequency.
Yeah.
Um, he just, maybe we just with this layout, run out, we just can't get called by worse. What is he betting here? Let's answer that question. Alright, so if we check on this run out, where is his value betting threshold? We get here,
Can he even bet like pocket tens?
yeah, he's gotta be, you can tell now it's a 65% check. So where's the? Yeah, so he's just really, he's never big, except with what I assume are sixes.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, it's all straights. He doesn't bet anything but a straight.
Yeah, and so that's gonna lead us to check. Because he can't, he's not gonna call.
Yep.
So we just check a lot. Another one?
Mhm. Okay. Seems like we have this sort of dilemma a lot. I'm going to check. I don't think we get to value bet, do we? Yeah. Okay, so now this is and I think this is a call.
Mix.
Yeah.
Entirely indifferent, sir.
I was worried about a large bet, as that was if it was going to be a big bet.
Nice hero.
Right.
Do we want to look? We can look. So
No.
let's say,
Yeah.
so let's go to, we check on river.
I mean, it's pretty clear if it was a big bet, it's going to be a fold. Because we saw it mixing with that 60.
So here, we, so here we check. Here. What are his common betting sizes? So he's just, yeah, he's using he used a B60, right?
Yep.
So he's not, do you want to see what happens? So he does use a B132. You want to see where the hero from if you use a B?
Well, if our hand
132?
is our hand will just be a fold, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Were
we
you
were
asking about
mixing.
big bet?
I was, and you know what? I saw the result of what 10-8 should do with a
Which is
B60.
indifferent.
Yeah. So when you make it B132, it's just going to be pure fold.
Yeah, so,
Still indifferent, right? Mostly folds.
well, no bluffs. That's the first thing, right? We have no bluffs on this. So we are, yeah, so second pair has a little bit of hero calling.
Yeah, a
And
little
then
more than I thought. I thought it would pure. So it's almost like it doesn't care about a B60 or a B132. 10-8 is about 50-50
Yeah, so I
in
think that this,
both scenarios.
say it again, Mike, I'm sorry.
I say the 10-8, the hand that we had, is the same frequency, about 50-50, versus a B60 or a B132.
Yeah, so I think that we can disregard this hero call strategy against humans. I think that humans are gonna have too strong a correlation between bet size and value. Right, so in theory, he should have more bluffs at B132 than he does at B60. But we know it's the
Mhm.
absolute opposite with
Okay.
humans.
Yeah,
I'm not
good
gonna
point.
say absolute, that's probably the wrong word to use. talking about poker. I know often with B132, humans are going to have less bluffs than they should relative to B60.
Yeah,
So I
good point.
think we could disregard these hero calls against our pool. Not when we're playing Phil Ivey, but against our pool, I think. All right, couple more.
I know Derek wanted to hit a couple.
Sure.
Derek?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we arrive on the river with second pair.
No pair.
Well, second no pair. So I think we can bet fold here.
Okay, what size would you like to use?
Tiny. Bet 27.
I think we're gonna do a lot of checking here. I think we just
Okay.
want to try to navigate to showdown, but we might have some blocker.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we
it's
just
just
want-
check.
No,
We
you're
want
right.
to just check here because we want to.
We've
We
we've
just
seen
wanna-
this a lot tonight. We've seen this a lot today.
We have our really shitty showdown here. We just want to navigate it to showdown. We have enough equity just to showdown. And he, and we're gonna because he's gonna check back at something to see these kind of hands, and we're just gonna win. Okay, you got the second nut flush, sir.
Okay. I think we're really happy with this. We want to get money in the pot. I'm betting 12 here.
So I think so his ace is a straight.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we do get some big bets.
So we want to get money from aces and worse flushes, and
Yeah.
if he bets back at us, then
You nailed
we
it,
just
sir.
fold.
So I see this. Yeah, we want it. What did he fold? He folded a straight. Look at that.
Whoa, look at him folding a straight.
How often does he fold a straight here?
In my population, they never fold their straight.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
I mean, like that's gonna happen. Like,
I think he's got to have mixed frequency here with straights.
Yeah.
I don't think he's folding them here.
yep.
We B132. Here is UTG. Yeah, he's just mixing. He just rolled them. So let's think about why. He's gonna have blockers in here too that he's calling with. So like this. So yeah, he wants to call blocking the flush. That makes sense. Was he blocking the flush? He was not. His ace 10. This is very low frequency. He wants to block the flush to do this.
Why are his low suited aces always calling?
Yeah, so it's got to have some. Well, these are. I don't.
Blocking sets?
Why do we care about blocking sets?
I don't know.
The only answer is that we must care about blocking sets.
6 is a straight, so
6 is straight. Yeah. So
3, 4, and 5.
he must value. So then we would only care about blocking sets. If in theory land here, out of position is value betting sets on this board, which I don't. Yeah, so that is not the answer.
No.
The sets are checked on this board. But if we, so again, let's go back to where we were. It's not, we know it's not because it's about it blocking sets.
Are the
Because
low are the
Out
low
of position
kickers?
never value bet sets.
Yeah. Are the low kickers because now he's unblocking our bluffs, like our king X and queen X bluffs, jack X bluffs.
That seems like it makes sense. Let's let's put our filter back on.
Because he's folding all the ace, king, ace, or not all. He's mixing a lot of folds with the ace, king, queen, jacks, and tens. But he's calling with the ace, 5, 4s, and 3s. Is it because that leaves us with more bluffs?
Well, the answer becomes where are our bluffs coming from? So we go back here. We go to trash hands. So those are trash hands, right? Now let's find trash hands bluffs. So there's the king. And there's the queen.
Not a
There is
lot.
some frequency of this. So I think that's probably the case.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Knife edge, right? Solver knife edge. This is like just blocking this amount of combos might do it. All right. Derek, I think you're up, sir.
Yep.
Well, you're blocking
We
the
have
straight, but you
something
don't care
below
because he
third
doesn't have
pair.
5-3.
We just want to check that. We just want to get the showdown with this fives.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm just going to check here. Well, we lose.
Yeah, you got it right
Smooth.
though. He checked back. Second
Yep.
pair. You have to realize your equity. So you got a high equity combo, dude.
Yeah, yeah. We want to get as much money as possible in here.
That's
So
when an ace comes.
we're targeting aces. If he has an ace, I guess I'm betting
Well,
12 here.
and so he only has 3 combos of ace 4. And I think ace 4 are the only 4s he has, right?
Yep.
So this ace is really good for you to value because blocks his ace 4 in his.
Yep.
This blocks the ace 4 of clubs, which is one of his combos that beats you.
What do you think about mixing in some checks here?
Yeah, I think Solver probably will have some checks here. Well, you know what, Mike? I think often, well, we just slow played a set, right? Which I think is pretty uncommon. So we slow played a set. So it's B33 and we just called. And then we checked and he checked back.
Then
So
a card comes on the river that's, theoretically pretty good for him or us. And if we have an ace, we're probably going to check a lot as well. Like if our low ace X
my
is
gut
going
is telling me like, well, I don't know. I
and
actually
he's
I don't
gonna
know because I always think of Solver fast playing sets.
and he's going to value bet his ace a lot. That's why I'm thinking we mix in checks here.
Yeah, I see your point. I see your point. That card is very good for his range. For that reason, we've got check raises. Because he's got very few ace 4s. He's got 3 combos, ace 4.
But it's on Derek. What does Derek do?
Derek bets 12.
No. Oh, it
well-
wants a big bet.
Yeah, so this ace is so good that we just want it all.
Oh, so
Our
we're going
equity here is going to be like,
320%.
so I would imagine our equity here is going to be like in the 90s.
So the solver says bet 320%.
Yep.
Do you find
Solver
in
says
your
bet
population people are doing that?
2%.
I
So-
rarely see it.
I thought I was betting like 130.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So
Yeah. So what's our equity? Set. 97. We're locked up. We don't care that there's quarter straight. He just doesn't have a straight. He never has a straight. So our equity is through the roof. And this ace is so good for him that he has to call it off sometimes. Now the question for me, out of curiosity, is we bet 300%. Well, what is our trash that bets this side? And it's plentiful, right? These are trash hands that are betting 3 times the pot. Queen Jack. All this stuff, because we're always, if you look at breakdown, we're always gonna have these are gonna be straights. We're always going to, if we're gonna bet this big with our value and we're the solver, then we're gonna have bets this big with our bluffs. We're like blocking, I don't know, the amount of blocking straight. Okay, anyway. So I'm beginning to burn out on talking, so maybe we'll do a couple more and then take a break and do some marked hands.
Yep.
Okay. All right, there. We bet 12, sorry, should have finished this.
Yeah. Does he call with his ace?
You thought about it,
He has an ace.
still thinking about it.
Yeah. See, we could have bet like 300% and got more money.
So yeah, so
So if we bet like, I don't know.
well, let's do it. Let's take their line. So they want to bet 302%.
Oh, he falls.
And he falls down.
What? So we made
Bastard.
more money.
Okay, a couple more.
Yeah, okay.
Now this is so second pair.
Okay. So we have second pair, which is the nuts, obviously. So we're betting 55.
Okay, so we can bet B60. So I think that, blocking ace-5 is important. I think that he checks back some portion of his king X
Yeah.
because he's gonna balance his checking range.
But in population, do you see that?
No, I
I
don't.
think they get so horny when they get a king, they just shove it in.
They do, Derek, but you're not playing.
Okay,
at
yeah,
casino right
exactly. We're playing Phil Ivey, not the
Yep.
people I play against, right? But if I'm playing Phil Ivey, I still want to get value from my jack, so I'm betting it. And if Phil Ivey raises me, I fold, and if he's bluffing me, good for Phil.
Mhm.
So we're gonna bet fold here.
B60.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pure
Whoa.
blocker.
I was wrong.
You weren't that far off though.
Well, we made
And you
more
got
money.
more value than the solver did.
Well, we're making more money than the solver, so I'm playing bad but making money.
All right, last one, then let's take a break and then do some marked hands. Sound good, guys?
Okay.
Um, so you have eights on this very interesting run out in the sense that this run out is really nutted for, I think, big blind.
Yep. We think our hand is shit on a stick.
He doesn't have ace two. Yeah, he
No,
doesn't
but
have ace
he
two.
could have 3s, 4s, and 5s.
Yeah,
Ace two suited.
Yeah. So we have a marginal made hand here, so we just want to check it down. 'Cause
Okay.
It hits him so much better than us, I think. No. What am
Yeah,
saying?
I think this is probably a check. You're right.
Yeah,
No,
so
it
we're
wants to
checking.
bet big here. Now the question is this a bluff or is this value?
I don't
and-
see value here.
Um, Are we, because this run out is so good for you? Well, the run out's so good for you that he's turned a flush draw and he checked it. Let's,
You checked his flush draw on the turn?
because I
What's
think
going
the
on here?
texture was so good for big blind.
Okay. So we scared him with the 5s and 4s and 3s.
So here, you're betting your eights, right? And my question is, where does the eights fall into your? So eights are value. We're up here. Eights are a value bet. Trying to get called by, well, what does he call? So we
Must be
bet,
ace high. and
yeah, we bet this. Yeah, where's his? He has very, very few bluff raises, right? Ace three is his bluff, made big bluff. But his threshold becomes ace, yeah. His threshold are aces. And then he does have some random stuff here that he's calling with. But this is, yeah, so you're getting value from ace high. All this ace high that he gets here with, you're getting value from.
Okay.
All right, guys, you want to take like 5 minutes and then we'll come back and do some arcans?
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Okay. Talk to you guys in 5.
Okay. See you in 5.
All right, guys. Who's there?
Hello, hello.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Hey, Derek, you there? Almost. All right. I got some hands. I'm Mike. I assume you have some.
oh, you know me, Larry.
I'll let you run first.
I actually don't have them up. I had to go take care of some stuff, so I didn't actually
Okay.
grab it. It won't take long for me to get any. So why don't you go?
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Hey, Derek.
Hey,
I'll start with a hand and then pass it on. Um, Derek, if you have any hands up, feel free to share them. Mike's gonna
Yeah,
have a couple.
yeah.
okay.
Do a couple, Larry. That way the screen share just stays on you for a little bit, and then we'll.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Um, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a big fold. Spoiler alert. We open.
Ooh, what's that size?
I think I'm getting cheeky. Getting cheeky here.
You're going against something that you had mentioned yesterday about making it bigger, even.
Yeah, true. I think this is before my session with Alexandra, but yeah, this is getting cheeky.
Yeah.
So we get this very wet, very dynamic flop. And we check, go check. What are you guys doing here?
I'm going to see bet, and I could potentially be folding. That's what I would do.
So I do see bet. I see bet half. And check out this 5x. So he 5x's us. More than that.
Okay. Anything on this player?
No reads that I recall on this player.
Dump it
And
like a
I
hawk.
up and fold. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Dump it. Quick dump.
it's like he's announced he fucking loves his hand. He certainly has draws here, right?
Yeah. If I
My
had
pop
eight,
doesn't check raise without at least two pair. Or like a massive, massive draw.
This is a
Like
very large check raise.
yeah, I'm in kind of camp fold. If I had the ace of hearts, I'd probably peel one, but like I
Yeah.
said, I was going to see bet and potentially be folding here. Now, I'm curious, why did you go a little more than half pot on that flop?
Yeah. I think in game I was trying to represent strength, honestly, and you can argue it's a mistake, especially against two players. I think it's probably a mistake. I think against heads up, it's not going to. So what are we? Cut off. Raise. Obviously, this is not correct because this is a multiple pot,
Yeah.
but I think this texture. This here. Whoops. That was not what I wanted to do. Hold on. I want to move this back here. Move this here. Okay. Queen of hearts, nine of spades, 10 of hearts. It's your check if this were heads up. Yeah, so we do get a little bit of this sizing. You know, I'm gonna argue this is half here.
Yeah.
We
Heads
don't
up.
get it actually that we don't get it that much with aces because we just you can't improve because we're not connected to the queen 10, and I think we get it more with the kings because we're connected and we can get a 10 and spike a straight, but our aces are just not connected.
Yep.
So it's not a mistake, but it's maybe a little too aggressive, and especially multi-way. I
Roll
frankly
over
do
the
think that
aces.
you're right that a B30 is better if we're gonna bet.
Roll over the aces and check out when our ace of hearts wants to go a little more. Yeah, I guess a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. Okay, so we B50. And he doesn't check raise often, but when he check raises, I'm gonna have to give him this size. Which he
Yeah,
does
that's
he's doing it with his blocker to straight and with his, he only does this really with his flop king jack straight. And he's doing it more with his straight flush draw. So this is a very unused size in a solver world, but he does get it. And the question now is, yeah, our aces just suck now because they can't,
yeah, and that's heads up, right? So you
and
were
that's
three
heads
bets
up.
up.
Yeah. And so his kings call because they're a gut shot, right?
Mhm.
Let's go look at what our breakdown is real quick here. We just fold a shit ton to this sizing. Where do aces fall now in our breakdown? Yeah, it's a really bad hand. It's like right here. Yeah. So I did find a good hero fold here. And I
Yeah.
really wasn't sure. I mean, I think the only reason to call here, if you think there's any chance that he's gonna check on turn. And I think very few people, when they take this aggressive a line, are planning to check turn. They're planning to continue the barrel.
What's the worst best hand that solver wants to fold? Like for example,
So it's probably
what's
up
10,
here.
what's 10-9 doing? What's
It's a queen jack, which has a backdoor folds.
yeah, and that's not a backdoor, it's an open ender.
Sorry, yeah, it's an open ender. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Um, yeah, so that's crazy. That's cray cray, isn't it?
Drop it down to that next group of folds,
King queen.
which is top pair. And what's in that little mix of folds between there?
Here,
Keep going to the right. There's a little sliver of folds that's mixing, yeah, there. So that's still just
a
top pair.
different king queen.
Yeah.
King queen with a heart. Now the question is, what are we willing now to go to just, yeah, so the nine, so the gutter, this is a gutter and a flush draw. We're like, okay, fucking run it. Same here. An open ender and a pair and a flush draw.
Now his raise was twice this amount almost, right? It was to 22 or whatever,
Yeah, it was
right?
huge.
So 20, so not quite twice the 100% pot that
Yeah.
solver has here. Now, because of the much larger size, so it's like a B175 almost.
Yeah.
Now, now the folds become, do we dip into like two pair, like bottom two?
Yeah, good question. So what are we doing with two pair here? So I would argue no, because
Well, this, you can see these are not folding because the raise size is much smaller than
yeah,
B175.
yeah. I see where you're getting with it. And I think the answer is, well, let's
Yeah.
look at two pair, which is our two pair are queen tens. So queen ten, let's just look at queen ten here. So let's look at queen ten and then let's look at EV. And it's not, yeah, it's not
Where's 10-9?
winning. 10-9. It's not winning much. Now I kind of want to call these because they have implied odds, right? They have four
Right.
to a boat.
Yep.
So that we can improve. And so I think we call. That's why we're calling. We have four codes that most of the time is going to give us the nuts. Whereas these aces just don't have anything going. We call ace king more than we call aces. Here. This says backdoor to nuts.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I found a fold.
Yep.
And
I like it.
yeah, it was but this is just never, and sizing is just ridiculous. All
Not
right,
a
one
fan,
more, I'll pass it on to you guys.
not a fan of your min raise. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, I can respect that. I think that probably is an error. Okay, so I think I'm getting jiggy here, right? So this is a limper, or no, this is a poster,
Mhm.
entry bet. So I'm gonna go after that.
Okay.
Small line calls, hit top pair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Broken
this is a
stack.
very weird hand. We bet. Are you okay with this bet here? What do you think?
I am. I am. I think yeah, I think we should be betting here like almost it's gonna like if you were gonna show this in a solver, it would probably mix this king jack, but I think versus population, just pure bet this king high board
Yeah,
and
we represented a big hand, right? Because we put in 3.7 big blinds. So this is where it gets weird. So we get the 6-7 now just straight it up. And he now chooses to represent 6-7 from the small blind.
6-7, two pair,
Or
a
two
set
pair.
a set that he was like, I'm gonna slow play.
So
So, I mean,
this to me, you know what this looks like to me? This looks like to me that someone's been studying solver. And is kind of been enamored with equity shifting cards. And you could argue this is an equity shifting card because he's got 6-7 in range.
he
Good
does.
for him.
But if he's studying solvers, the solver would never bet B75 here.
True. Good point. So what are you guys doing here?
So the solver never bets 75. It bets.
When solver chooses to lead / donk, it usually chooses a B33. And actually, I would almost say it almost exclusively chooses a B33. It
So
never bets big when it's
when I
donking.
donk, I should always bet 33. Can I simplify to that?
Well, I don't know. It depends on, I think a lot of it depends on your pool. KYC, man, KYC. So like, if you do have 6-7 here and you bet B75 and they're not mentally capable of folding a top pair, then B75 is fucking great.
Yep. I concur.
I don't know, man. I think you just got to peel once, and I don't know if this is ever just fold it to population or not.
Yeah, I think this is a call. I think this is often, my opinion is this sometimes is the nuts. But do you really want to generate folds with a big bet after you nut up? Not unless you're a small percentage of the population is going to play this way. Either they're thinking like they're leveling, saying, well, this never looks like what it is, which is the turn nuts. But mostly it's bullshit. So this 9, I think, is pretty inconsequential.
Well, I have a rule that if a person is playing with a broken stack, he's an idiot. So I don't think that he's the solver guy.
That's a good point. We start with I should have pointed that out. Or I wish I had thought to point that out. He is a
So-
broken stack.
I don't think he's a solver studier guy.
No, not at all. He's a broken stack. He flatted in the small blind. There's a lot of indications that he's not going to be a studied player.
Yeah, agreed.
I concur.
So he makes big bet. And now we face the classic B50.
Ooh. Just enough, right? Just enough to call.
Yeah, so this B50, let's talk about sizing tell here, right? So if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, if you have a set or you have a straight, are you really gonna B50 here? After I called your B80 or B75.
I mean,
donk on turn.
you're asking us who wouldn't be in this situation. You're right. You know,
Yeah, so I think there's a sizing tell here. I think the
Yeah.
sizing tell is, I think the story pretty much is I'm mergey as AF with something, and you could easily have 2 pair. But I decided to lead big, and then I essentially damn bet river. And also now your pot odds are ridiculously good, right? I mean, we're getting really, really good pot odds. What you guys probably know it off the top of your heads. Escaping me. I'm trying to remember.
oh yeah, it's
Remember.
25%, right?
Yeah, it's
You got to
25%.
be you got to be good 25% of the time here to make the call profitable.
Yeah.
So
So
Peter Clark, there, you know Peter Clark pretty well. Is it his sort of philosophy that when a fish bets half pot on the river and you have a made hand that you just never fold? Is it Peter Clark or is it somebody else?
he does talk about this B50 fish size.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Yeah, he talks about this a lot. And he thinks this is, we just call this down.
Yeah.
So he was mergey as F, right? So he was like thinking to himself, I turned a gut shot. So I'm gonna go a little cray cray. And then he said, well, now I'm gonna do something really mergey AF. I don't want to check. So I'm gonna B50. He's clearly a horrible player.
No.
Okay. And I like my hero.
No, me too.
And I think what we
yeah.
learned about B50s makes sense.
And there's
From
gonna be
Peter
times
Clark and others.
there will be times that you're gonna lose, but you only have to be good 25% of the time there.
Yeah, and yes, and Peter Clark and others have talked about kind of this fishy B50. King Concerto, who is sorely missed, come back to the group. He also talked about the fishy aspects of B50.
Yeah. All right, I'll pull one up here. This one was fun. Come on, open up.
So I always want to ask you when I look at this picture, see that little flare in front of what I assume is your partner? Is that a little fire or is that just a sun flare from the sun?
It must just be just a reflection of the sun or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome picture. I can understand why it's your background.
Yeah. I had to close Poker Tracker and reopen, so sorry about the delay because it wasn't opening up a table for some reason. So I'm just
No, no worries. Derek, do you have any hands for us?
Yeah, I do. I like Joey told me to record my sessions.
Yeah.
So I started doing it and I found it's really tough to do. So but I put them into easy hand replayer. I can just
Okay,
bring that
cool.
up.
Well, why don't we look at those after Mike shows some hands?
Okay.
okay. Here we go. Not certain of exactly what happened here, but it's a bigger pot, so just wanted to see what happens. It could be easy, could be simple.
Can I ask you a question again? So you've been on Ignition for like 6 months now, right?
Yeah, good question. I'm not exactly certain of the start date, but yeah, it's been at least a half a year.
So can you compare your win rate on, you're playing this pretty much the same stakes you played on Global, right?
Yeah, same, actually less lower stakes than I did on Global. So yeah, so I was winning at a pretty good clip on Global for over a couple 100,000 hands. At 50 NL or at 100 and 100 NL, I was winning at 4 big blinds per 100. At 25 and 50 combined, I was like close to 8, 9 big blinds
That's
per
awesome.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really good results there over good sample. So then I would move to Ignition. I've only gotten 30,000 hands in so far, so it's
Mhm.
still relatively small, but I'm dead nuts break even. Like I'm like minus $35. So,
Ah, yeah. Do
but
you think that the pool is more aggressive on Ignition?
I don't remember. I don't know if I can give a good. I don't remember that there was much of a difference at all. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Cool. Well,
But yeah,
I'm just trying to decide if I want to move to Ignition for a while and soak up a welcome bonus.
now if I had 30% rake back, I'd be, over 10 buy-ins up, but I didn't get a rake back deal, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, that begs the question, do you think about moving back to Global because of the rake back?
Kinda, but I love the fact that I can get this analyzation of hands
Yeah.
in my play. You can't on global, like you can't
Yeah.
track hands and
Yeah.
stats and
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
all right, so
You got a
we got
limper.
a couple, actually they're all broken stacks. Notice they're all broken stacks.
Mhm.
And a min raise,
Oh my God. What's going on?
feel like this is just a pure 3-bet.
So you got a limper, an ISO, min raise, ISO to 2 big blinds. Yeah, I like your sizing here. I think it makes sense to size up when you've got the other player in.
The original limper calls, and so does the imposition player.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Top pair.
Yeah, we like this.
We checking range basically, or are we just gonna are we gonna see that here?
Um, so I don't think this board is too wet. I put it in the middle. Our SPR is interesting, right? So our SPR, I think, is going to allow us to check more. We're not usually in this situation, but you're against 2 broken stacks with an SPR of 2. We really like our hand. They certainly have, what the fuck is a limb call range to a 3-bet? I think it's going to be composed a lot of traps. I mean, so P3 has got to be either trapping or a degen.
Yeah. Who knows, right? We
That's
don't know what he's doing.
He's trapping or he's degenning and he just wants to see flops.
Yeah. He's a
G7 has a
baboon.
more valid range here because he ISO, you know, it's retarded. I think I like check. I mean, you're way out of position. You've got a hand that can be outdrawn, but it's pretty good. I would
So
consider check raise even.
the broken stacks did influence me in my check. Like I might see bet this more often if we all had bigger stacks.
Yeah.
The broken because you know the urgency isn't as high here.
Yeah, I think the SPR is important here. I agree.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I checked. He does this, you know, B 7.5.
Yeah. Let's see how P7. Okay. So this is where it gets interesting. So you are now in the middle of a sandwich.
Yeah.
Um, the most likely hand that's beating you now is eights. And there's lots of flush draws here.
But we can never fold, right? I mean, this is just
So,
this is a
uh,
snap call.
yeah, so I think our pot odds are too good against these. Yeah, I think our pot odds are too good against these two ranges. Um, maybe we can fold a little bit. I mean, so I think the only hands that's I think the only hand that's beating you are the three combos of 8x. And so I think we call.
Yeah, I thought this was a pure call. I just wanted to make sure that we shouldn't be considering folding.
I think I think just 8x is beating you here.
You know, we got called in both places or value.
Nice.
So,
This is insane.
um,
Oh my God.
yeah, right.
How common is this kind of play on
Well,
ignition?
this is obviously an unusual situation, but to get it all in and have two players show up with really kind of mediocre hands like that is not common.
Maybe another way for me to ask this question, is this more, is this more common on ignition than you found it on global? Or is it hard to make that choice?
Global was mostly 6 max. This is 9 max.
Yeah.
It was a shorthanded table at 9 max, but I think it's probably more common on ignition.
So ignition might have a fishier pool.
Yeah, I think so. Could be.
Okay.
All right, here's another one, another big pot. I do remember this one. I remember this one vividly. So this had been a broken table, like this was full and it broke, and we're down with these two players. And this player, you know, after has been shown to be really active, really aggressive. The last like probably 10 hands or so heads up. He was aggressing a lot, and you know, unfortunately, I just was in situations where I just wasn't able to like call down or show down type of thing.
Sure.
I was holding a lot of hands, like if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're like maybe had draws that missed or
Yeah, there's just a lot of kind of mediocre, not even mediocre stuff, just crap stuff.
can we see his HUD again? Can we
Yeah.
see his HUD stats? So you 22 hands, right? VPIP is 67. Yeah, so this guy's fish territory already. But how many, for the majority of that, how many of the hands were with more players? Is that all heads up?
No, probably like at least half of these are heads up. So the other half
Okay,
came
so
with-
yeah, so we'll take these VPIP numbers with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and just personal, experience that with what he was playing. He was in a lot of pots,
Okay,
and then the last 10 hands, he would min raise on the button, like he would open min raise, and just bet, like he would just always be betting. It was rare for him to.
so he was like 100% C bet.
He had a lot of C bets.
Well, look at his aggression factor. It's like 15.
Yeah, this was happening.
Okay.
It was
Are we getting
So-
into maniac territory?
I was putting him in maniac territory. I was certainly not necessarily maniac, just really aggressive.
Okay.
Now I haven't been able to see very many hands. I don't know that I've seen any, maybe a couple, but nothing crazy.
But the opportunity is juicy enough that you're sticking around to play heads up.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And here I had this opportunity to, I got a great hand. We're 160 big blinds deep, and this is the first like legit hand that I've had.
Okay.
So there's a typical min raise from the button.
Okay.
I was calling like Jack 3 off to his min raises.
Because that's the only, he had no folds essentially.
Yeah, I think I folded like one or two that were like the very, very bottom, but I was calling a lot. I was calling this min raise quite a bit, which I think you're supposed to.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are. I mean, so keep in mind that, at GTO, our raise first in should be around 80% here, heads up.
Yep.
Because you're so, because in position play is so much an advantage at this stack depth. So yeah, nice sizing.
This may have been the first 3-bet I've had against him too.
Okay.
I don't think I had a single 3-bet prior to this. Okay, so we see a flop.
Quite a flop. First thing that came to mind is, so first thing that came to mind is his aggression factor
Mm-hmm.
of 15. And how I want this pot to grow out of proportion. So I kind of want to check raise here.
So I did. I had the same thought as you. I thought he's going to continue his aggression, and our hand can handle it. I think we got an overpair with the ace of diamonds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's gonna have some Jack 10, but even
So
then we're 30% to outdraw him.
Yeah,
That's what you, so we got what we wanted. So I would check raise here. I'm ready to play for it all against a borderline maniac.
and I was kind of taking the stance of he's going to continue his aggression like he has on every other hand that he's gotten this far with, and I just
Okay.
had it.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, well, I can see your point. So this is very similar to the play that I showed when I was showing my session with the maniac to my right,
Uh-huh.
where I was calling. So I totally get this.
Were we this deep? Were you this deep?
No, I wasn't.
So that's the only thing I don't like is that
Your
we're
SPR is a lot bigger here.
yeah. So I'm that's why the raise is certainly seems viable. But like I said, he's been pretty aggressive, and that's a big size. Like he's going B75 here, B66, whatever it is. So yeah, so we flat.
Not a great card.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, I think that's not the case. I think he's got a lot of Jack 10 that calls you 3-bet. So, and then takes this line. So I like this card because it just counterfeited Jack 10.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not too afraid of it. I know that his range is pretty wide, so he's going to have, more sevens than a typical, like, whoever you would typically be up against. But
Yeah.
does this
Good.
does this change anything here? I mean, you're going to check now and right?
Yeah.
Continue.
I'm not gonna lead. Oh, raising the lead here. Yeah, so he's making massive bets. He puts
we?
in,
Yeah, it's another
30
B75.
bigs. I'm gonna call.
So no raising.
I wanna keep
Headboard
him
is
bluffing.
freaking me out a little bit. And yeah, so I think I mostly call.
Yeah, me too.
I want to keep him bluffing, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
So now he's gonna put us to the test. So he now is, we've got one to a straight. Are we gonna assume that he's gonna push us to the test? I I don't think a blocker's good against this kind of player because I think he's just gonna take that as an opportunity to shove everything. A blocker to him is announcing, a blocker to him here is announcing that we did not have the nuts and he's just gonna shove at a higher frequency. So yeah, so he's gonna shove here.
We got what we wanted with this hand, but I think that river card really sucks, doesn't it?
Yes, the river card sucks. Um, this really is a really horrible run out. It's really good blocking the flush, the flop flush. We're not doing anything to block a 9. He would have had to take this line with like a queen 9 would be an obvious way to take this.
Derek, do you have any thoughts?
We got what we want here, right? An aggressive person is shoving it at us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we beat him into the pot.
I was so worried about that 8 showing up on the river. Like I feel like that's the worst possible card.
Yes, it's the worst possible card, but this is look at what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
We do it with like 4 high, so get it in
Well, let's
there.
go. Well, let's ask the questions before we reveal. Let's ask the questions. Are you beating value?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
He's not even betting for value sometimes. He's just betting for betting, right?
yeah, so I don't think you're I think that even a maniac on this card is not going to value bet his jacks. So I think you're not beating value. I think you're just beating bluffs. I think you've got a pure bluff catcher.
Yep. We have a bluff
Um,
catcher and we're proud of it.
Is this opponent capable of bluffing? Yes,
Yes.
he is. We have come to the conclusion that he will triple barrel.
Yep.
Um,
We're happy to shove in 100 big blinds with just a shitty
so,
pair.
I don't think this is a slam dunk, like, oh, I'm calling every time. But I think that I don't think we have to, I felt we're blocking ace 9. How many ace 9s are we blocking? Blocking
Maybe.
2 ace 9s, at least two combos of ace 9. I don't think it's a slam dunk, but I think we mostly call.
I mean, it's not just 9s either. I mean, he can have 10s. He can have a 7. He can have
Yeah,
he can have 8s. He got here with 8s.
yeah,
We do block the flush, obviously. That's a great blocker card to have.
yeah, we're blocking the flop flush. I just don't, do you think he's ever doing this with, king jack with the king of diamonds?
No.
Yeah, I think it's a bluff catcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think against this particular kind of villain, I think it's fine.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Derek,
Huh.
you nailed it. Derek, you said what? You said 5 high or something?
Yeah, I said 4 high, so I was off. But
Yeah, I just wasn't that. I've been kind of taking the stance of just don't make any hero calls on the river anymore to big giant bets like this. And
Mhm.
this,
no, but consider your audience, right?
yeah, know your customer.
KYC guys, KYC.
Okay, good. Just wanted to kind of get a sanity check, make sure because I was considering folding. If I didn't have the ace of diamonds, I think I would have folded.
Really?
Yeah, I think the ace of diamonds is important. His aggression factor is important. Did he leave the table?
Yeah, he insta sat out.
What a satisfying hand.
Yeah, no shit.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So I'm curious about timing. Do you remember what his timing was? Was he like fast bet, big bet, fast big bet, fast big bet? Or did he take any
don't-
time on the flop?
I don't
Oh, I'm sorry, on the
remember.
river. I'm most curious about.
I don't remember.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if there's any timing tells with these triple barrel with air. Okay. Cool. Two interesting hands.
So Derek, you got some?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, I did it with easy hand replayer.
Oh, good.
So I'm still learning how to use this damn thing, and so I was
It's
fighting
all
with
right.
it pretty hard. Um,
It's not, yeah, it's not totally easy to figure out.
so let me just
Once you do it a couple times, it's super easy.
okay. That's good. So I guess I need to share my screens.
You do need to share, yeah.
Yeah, share screen. There we go. And it gives me a choice. Okay, I need easy hand replayer.
So it might work better if you just share your web browser. Because I remember we were having some bandwidth
Yeah,
issues.
the issue is just that I have 5 screens, so
Okay, you might just want to share browser. I think that might work better.
no, I think I'm okay. I
Okay,
think I want to share this one. Share, yes. Okay, does that look shared?
not yet. Okay, it's sharing your
Good.
screen.
Yep.
Okay, so we're in easy hand replayer. User
Yeah.
hands. I think I'm in the right place.
Yep. Go to my hands on the left, assuming you saved them.
Oh,
So see on the left where it says my hands.
my hands. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. Took a while for it to jump into here. So this is all at 1-3.
Okay.
And I'm finding it really hard to accurately write down all the relevant facts, even just if I just played the hand. You guys ever find that?
I don't take
I-
notes playing. I have never taken notes playing live, but yeah, I could see how that could get a little wieldy.
And I'm the only person I've ever seen do this. So
Yeah, because most people don't care about improving.
I mean, you could, one way you
yeah,
could make it
yeah.
easier
So
is that if you go to the, you go all the way to the river, you could take a picture of the
yeah, that's not
table.
allowed. That's not allowed.
Not allowed? Okay, never mind.
So here I have a major fish betting 15.
Did you have a limp in front? So you have a limp
Yeah,
and cut off?
limp and then 15. And
Is it a fold?
Joey
Is it a
said,
fold?
better fold. No calling for you. So I make it 60 here.
I like it more than a call.
Yeah, I like it more than a call, but it's still that should just be a fold there. But
Okay, this is like prime tuna. So I want to play pots with prime tuna.
I still think it's a little not a good hand to make this play with.
I think I agree with you because this is what happens. I got a gut shot here. And that's enough to get me in trouble. And I get in well, they fold, but I think I got in trouble there.
Oh, so you went 2x. You went with a 2x jam there.
Yep. Well, they only have 240, right? So
So pot was 120 big blinds, right?
yep.
One, okay, let's go back. So before you bet, go back one more. So pot's 40 and you've got 80 behind.
No, he's got 240. They both have 240.
$240, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I was
This is-
thinking in big blinds.
Yep. 80 big blinds. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
80 big blinds, that's right.
So, okay, go one more. All right, so let's see the flop.
Right.
You can step through it by clicking the little arrow to the right of the play button.
Okay. So I got a
Okay.
gut shot.
So this is, okay, we're back to where you shove. Can you hit go back one more time so we can see what it looks like before you bet?
Sure.
Yeah. I think that button will do it.
Okay.
No, it's not moving. Didn't move. There we go. One more, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. So 40 big blinds. So the argument against shoving is that when you shove here, you're only getting called by better. You're essentially making the game very easy for your opponent.
Right.
Your opponent now has a binary decision, and his binary decision is call or fold. There's no in between. So he can very easily call with his bluff catchers and his thick value and fold everything else. So he now
Right.
is going to fold, you know,
So you're saying I'm making him play perfectly.
I would argue that you're making it very easy for him to play. Because he's just going to call. You're never getting called by worse. You're only getting called by better.
Now, a little bit of counter here is that they are going to fold some worse. I mean, they are going to fold some better.
Yeah, they're going to fold like, yeah, ace jack of hearts. That's valid.
I should note that I have a bunch of fold equity stored up because I haven't been caught bluffing yet.
I
This
didn't
will
hear you
change
there,
during the
Derek. You were
session.
very quiet.
I have some fold equity built up because I have not been caught betting bluffing yet,
Yeah.
and I have not been kicking the table around.
Yeah.
But that changes later on in this session.
Yeah. So so I wouldn't have chosen this play, because I think I'm just folding out.
I want to play with
We lost you there. We had some bandwidth issues.
I said I want to play with prime tuna.
Yeah, you do want to play with prime tune-up. So, but I think that
That's the whole reason why we made this bad play.
okay.
Because I think
Yeah.
that even out of position with a piece of shit hand, I can outplay him.
Okay.
That's my conjecture.
Okay. I think
That
this
never
is
happens in the solver, but
no, I understand. I think that this is just I just think you're making it a very easy game for prime tuna.
Yep.
Prime tuna can now fold anything that's not a king X,
yep. But
except for maybe his very best draws.
yeah, he might fold a 6 or a queen.
Yeah.
And a
Jack
bunch of
10.
other pairs.
So yeah, so like his tens, nines, eights, sevens, sixes are gonna fold. I would just argue that Derek, you can invest less here
Bingo.
and still generate folds from, for instance, nines, eights, sevens, and tens.
Because if we bet like 80 or something like that, we'd still have leverage of the other 160.
I would, yeah, I mean, I would bet half pot here, maybe. So I bet
Yep.
$60.
Yeah, you could bet 60, 50, something like
And
that.
$60 from a lot of people who are set money, they're just gonna fold out. They're gonna see the king and say, wow, king's really good for this dude, his range. I'm just gonna fold my sevens, eights, nines, and 10.
Oh, I should note that I'm the first person to 3-bet at the table.
Well, yeah, I think that's an
Person 3-bet at
argument
the table.
for, I think that's an additional argument for not having to make such a big investment.
Yeah, because
here.
they assume I have aces or ace king or
Yeah,
some
yeah,
such nonsense.
yeah. I just think that this, again, using Jonathan Little terminology, this shove is making the game very easy for the prime salmon to play.
Yep.
Prime tuna to play.
I think you're right. I think I should probably just bet like 60 or 50.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he's gonna fold out. You're gonna fold out a lot, sure. But you're gonna get only called by better cards. So you even with your bluff, you're not maximizing your semi bluff with your gut shot and you're over. You're not maximizing your profit. Derek, what do you
Hmm.
think? Maybe Derek has a different perspective. You're Derek, sorry. Mike, what do you think?
Oh, no, it's exactly it. Now, on one thing I wanted to kind of go over is we talked about this yesterday. I know Joey kind of gave you an exercise, kind of a homework exercise of just three better fold, right? He was like, don't call.
Yep.
However, I don't think he was referring to specifically, in the big blind.
Okay,
'Cause-
so I can call in the big blind and call on the button. I think that's
Right,
what we were
and-
talking about yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of what we talked about. I mean, maybe he did specifically say, no matter where, three better fold. But I don't think you want to go for
Matter where.
months, have a long-term relationship with that strategy in the big blind. I think it was more of an exercise.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Now, I wouldn't have
Nice.
called ace 10 either. I wouldn't have three bet it and I wouldn't have called it. Your three bet is a better play with ace 10 than a flat there.
Yeah.
I think you just got to fold ace 10 to a pretty big ISO size from a fish. Unless you think they're just a maniac.
I think the guy's an aggressive guy. I don't know.
Okay, then ace 10 might not be too terrible.
Like he's on the button, so
Uh-huh.
whatever.
What was the size? It was like 5x
Oh,
because we had a limp and then he went 15, right?
yeah. Which is reasonable. I think
Yeah.
15 is fine.
That's
Yeah, no,
the ISO size I would use here.
yeah, that's actually pretty standard. I thought that was, for some reason, I thought it was a little bigger than that. So you know what? Your three bet is actually
could
not
have
as
gone-
bad.
I could have gone like 75, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I was gonna go.
I would just prefer it to be suited.
Yeah,
But
I would too.
I don't think your three bet's as bad now. I thought that 15 was like 15 big blinds.
No. So I'll show you my next hand.
Yeah.
This is not me. Oh, there are users' hands. Hold on.
Remember the my hands?
Go to my hands.
My hands. Oh, okay. Yeah. I went to users' hands wrongly. My hands. Why does it say users' hands?
Weird. What if you do like a
Weird.
control
Okay,
R?
okay.
There we go.
Okay, I think we got it now. So this is another hand from the same session.
So 7-6 suited.
Yeah, 7-6 suited. This is like limp, right?
Okay, so you get limp,
same
limp,
thing.
limp, ISO. An ISO from the same maniac.
Yep.
Prime tuna, rather. Sorry.
Well, this 15 is way too small, and I have no calling range because of Joey. And I kind of want
Okay.
to play this playable hand. So even though this hand doesn't do well, I decide I'm going to shove it in.
Okay.
So I will go to 50. Aha, limp call 50. Holy crap, what's going on?
So you essentially did a 3-bet here to 1530 to about 4. Let me see. So 1530, 45. they're about 3.5x. And you've got, this is $50, right?
Yep.
And you've got 250 behind.
So immediately what lights up in my brain is, welcome to the set mining.
So this is 10 big blinds, right? This is, no, this is 1-3.
Yeah, this is 1-3.
So, okay, this is $50.
So this is about 17 big blinds.
17, okay, I like the sizing. What do you think of the sizing, Mike?
I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I think it's fine to turn this hand into a bluff. I don't do it enough, frankly. So good for you
I
on
kinda-
having the balls to do it.
like, I don't like using 7-6 as a bluff because it doesn't have an ace.
Yeah, I think a common bluff here would be like ace 4, ace 3 suited.
Yeah. I'd rather have ace 5 suited.
Ace 5 suited would be the, yeah, the magic
Nuts.
solver
Ace
hand.
5 suited is the nuts here, right? So
Yeah.
this guy calls, like limps 3, calls 17 big blind.
So,
I'm-
okay, so what do you
I'm
think is,
thinking
what do you
right
think his range is
away,
composed of that plays this way?
You're set mining or you're playing ace king really weird.
So it's either, I think it's, yeah,
So the
I think
original laser fold.
oftentimes it's traps. And, but the great majority of the time it's set money.
Yeah. So I think I'm against the set miner. That's my thought. And I flop the nuts here, obviously, with third pair. Right?
Alright, so 41 bigs in the middle.
And the guy only has, we're at 250 each.
Yeah, 2-1 SPR.
Yeah. So I bet small here.
Okay, so you bet,
Because with my set of aces, I'm betting small all
Yeah.
day.
You bet 20%. I think that's a pretty good
yeah,
size.
I think solver's gonna do this a lot, yeah. If, if we could solve this.
So he calls.
Okay,
Well, this is shit.
a bricky 4. Okay. So,
This does
so
not
he's
fit my
got,
range.
so
Yeah.
what is in this range here? He does have 10s. It's nice blocking he's only got one combo of 7s. He
Yeah,
does have
so I
obviously
think-
some club draws. Your size
got
with
some
small, so it
pairs.
could be like still 9s,
But-
10s, and jacks.
But his
All right,
pocket
so what do we
blocking
do
is
on turn?
ace-X. So I think this means probably triple barreled it off.
Okay,
Maybe bet another 25, but I don't do that. I bet 35 here.
so you bet 35.
He calls the 35.
All right.
Now we get gold. Our set of aces is good.
So you're setting up a shove.
Yeah. So I don't know. We got 63 back. There's 81 in the pot. He's called,
you
he's
have-
called, he's called. So he's got something.
Yeah,
But I decide let's shove it all in. Our set
Okay.
of aces is good.
Yeah, you don't only need a set of aces to play this way either.
No. So he called with jacks. And I
so that's a serious hero call on his part, right? Because you are
oh, yeah.
clearly ace X is in very much in your range. He is very static hand. I mean, he was kind of stationed this.
Yep.
I mean, I would fold probably if I was in his position.
Yep. So I'm really happy now because I have rat shit for a table image. So if I get a big hand, I'm gonna get paid.
So the other question to ask yourself here, is after you get called on flop, you have very marginal showdown, right? You do, but you do have some showdown, right? Because you
We're
were
drawing
beating
15
his
pairs.
flush draws, you're beating his 6s, which your blocks, beating his 5s. So you do have very it's not very much showdown, but you have marginal showdown. So there is an argument on, I would say greater on flop. I'm sorry, not flop, greater on river to check. And he would have checked this back. So you would have lost, but you did have very marginal showdown on river.
I think you played it great. I think this was played very, very well.
I'm sure that we're losing after it goes call.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's
I
no
think
way
Mike is
we have
fine. Mike,
zero
Mike
showdown
generally is
value.
a more aggressive player than me. And so I think, yeah, I think your line also has merit.
So I'm happy to shove it all in.
Yeah.
Like we lose, but like we're playing such small stakes that I don't really care about the money.
Can you,
This-
okay, your mic has gotten very quiet again.
Okay, like we're playing such small stakes that I don't care about the money.
Okay.
So
Well,
you know,
he stationed you. So
right.
great majority time against his line, he should fold that.
But
I mean, he's got a hand. I mean, so you had a small bet, small bet flop, small bet turn, and he chose the station river. Yeah, he should probably
So-
fold this at a high frequency.
good to his hand.
You
I
cut out. Can you
celebrate
say it
my
again?
loss. Put it that way. I celebrate my loss. I high five
Okay.
him across the table.
Yeah, you've got a
So-
maniac. I mean, I think you're a maniac.
So now I have a maniac image.
All
so
your value is going to get paid.
I want to cash in on my maniac image. So we are not checking this, obviously.
No.
Oh, look at this.
Oh my God.
This is probably too small, I think.
So can you go back one? Let's see what the pot is. So the pot is at 5 big blinds.
Yep. So I pot it roughly.
I would go 5 big blinds here. I think your size is good.
Yeah. So I make it 20, which
What do you think about this size,
now
Mike?
might be kind of small. I could go 25.
No, I think the size is great. I think it's,
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
So
What
I'm-
is it? So the Jonathan Little, pokercoaching.com says 3 times the last bet. So 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 would be, the poker coaching approved
Okay.
size.
And maybe another 3 because we're out of position so badly.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So it's roughly right. So I'm thinking Vegas and the Mirage. I'm going to get paid. People think I'm an idiot or a maniac anyway. So I want to cash in on my my great oh, look at this. We're going
Got
all
called
the
2
way
places.
we're going all the way to the river with this.
So your SPR is 3 now, right? Because the
So all
got-
the money's going in.
okay.
No, the SPR is like less than 2.
Yeah. So
Did I misread that?
unfortunately,
Sorry.
unfortunately they fold.
What did you bet?
I
I
bet
missed that.
60 into 69.
Yeah, it's a little big, but I mean, depending on your table and your opponents, I think, in an exploitative manner, it's probably fine.
I'm trying to exploit my bad table image. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm a nut, basically.
Okay.
Playing,
Theory
shoving my
says,
money in with 7 high.
theory would say, to bet a third-ish, no more than half. And then
If I bet a third or a half, I'd still get the money on. So I think this is a mistake.
Yeah. But
So
again,
Uh,
you're betting big exploitatively. So,
Right.
if you're going to exploit your opponents,
Because-
that's probably
because they
okay.
think I'm an idiot, right? I have the maniac table image on my head.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I said, let's just get all the money in.
Okay.
But I was wrong.
Again, don't be results oriented. I don't think it wasn't a mistake. I mean, yes, maybe there was a more optimal line, but this isn't a mistake that's going to cost you money.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to cash in on my bad table image. That's all there is.
Did you show it? Did you show him the ace king?
No. I don't want. I want them to continue to call me when I have like top pair, top.
But you
Right.
did have to show the 6-7.
Oh, I'm happy to show the 6-7. Right.
Oh,
If they know that I 3-bet with 7 high, that's great for my table image, right? I want them to calm my
Okay.
down my like I'm the only person at the table 3-betting without aces. You saw they flat jacks, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard that naked aggression just does work a lot. So,
Yeah. So I'm the
um,
only aggressive person at the table, really.
okay. So guys, I'm running out of steam, but you guys are more than welcome to continue.
no, I think this is a good ending point.
Okay.
Okay.
I really enjoyed these 2 days, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't believe I finally found my people.